Hi students, Department of Technical Education, Telangana. My name is T. Rashekar, working as a civil lecturer in Civil Engineering Department, SRS GPT, Silsila Polytechnic College. So today I am going to teach the subject of leveling surveying. This is for the first year, second sem civil engineering students, and your subject code is 18C 205C. So today we are going to discuss from the unit 6, that is minor instruments. This is our last chapter, 6th unit, minor instrument. Today we are going to see the topic on introduction to minor instruments. Objectives: on completion of this period you would be able to know what are minor instruments and uses of minor instruments and various minor instruments used in surveying. So up to now we have seen the different types of leveling, okay, and we have studied different things and component parts of our leveling instruments, dumpy levels and auto levels, okay, and now today we are going to see the minor instruments. So minor instruments are also called advanced surveying instruments. So what are various surveying instruments used for linear and angular measurements? I think this question you have seen in the first year first sem only. We are having the linear and angular measurements that we have studied in the chain surveying. So for linear measurements, once again we see chain, tape, level, offset rod, tachyometer. So tachyometer also called theodolite instrument. So for these are the linear measurements which we will use with the help of chain, tape. Level means auto level or any dumpy level instrument, okay. And for angular measurements we are using compass, theodolite, clinometer. So this clinometer is the advanced instrument we are using the now technology. So this is used for the measuring of heights, okay. So in linear measurements we have seen from the starting itself, by use of chain we can calculate the areas, we can measure the length, okay, and levels, okay. With the help of dumpy level we can measure the ground levels, and offset rod is to bisect the perpendicular 90 degrees angle. Tachyometer is used for the different bearings and angles, horizontal angles and vertical angles, okay. So just like in angular measurements also, in compass we have done the bearings, forward bearing and back bearing, calculating the area and closed traverse, open traverse, okay. And theodolite is used for the measuring of heights and distances, horizontal and vertical angles, okay. So this is for the theodolite is used in the generally high distance surveys. So this is in your next semester, third semester it will be coming on. So clinometer is where you are now here. So this is used to measure the heights, different angles also. So let us see here some of the minor instruments. So why these minor instruments name as scheme? So minor instruments are light and handy instruments used in surveying for measurement of horizontal and vertical angles, measurement of slope of the ground, okay. So why these minor instruments are used? They are very light and handy instruments. Light means they are not more weight, okay. They will be very less weight. So that is called light, and handy instruments means we can carry in the hand for using survey. So they are used for the measuring of horizontal and vertical angles and using measurement of slope of the ground and calculation of areas, that means quantity of areas, how much area this land will be there. So we can calculate by the minor instrument also. And enlargement and reduction of maps. So this is the main other point which is used in the contour maps. So enlargement means in a ground if we do the survey taking the measurements, so that will be drawn in the map. So that map is nothing but we will be whatever the measurements we have taken very long, that will be enlargement and we will be reduced in the maps, showing that 100 meters is equal to 1 centimeters. So that is nothing but reduction of map. So next, uses of minor instruments. What are the uses? To fix best possible route in alignment of roads. So with the minor help instruments we can use in the roads, we can place the best alignment. That means the alignment will be in the straight and possible way in a good condition. Okay, and to locate the points on a given grade. So we can locate the points which are given grade on the ground levels in an accurate way. Okay, and to measure the angle of slope. So we can measure the angles of slope also. So just like this is the slope is there. Okay, if there is slope road is there, so we can measure this angle also, how much angle will be there. Okay, and to trace grade contours. So the contour maps are there, so we can trace them, how much the level was there, the difference between the ground levels. So by this we can trace the grade contours, and to find the height of the objects quickly. So we can find the objects from the clinometer very quickly. Okay, so we can measure height very easily, and to measure the horizontal and vertical angles quickly. So we can measure the horizontal and vertical angles, that means in horizontal and in the vertical also. So by these minor instruments, these are the uses. So remember, this is an important question. Okay, alignment of roads and points on a given grade, and we can measure the angle of slope, and we can trace the grade contours, and we can find the objects, height of the objects quickly, and we can measure horizontal and vertical angles quickly. So, and next, to calculate the area of an irregular map. So if any map is there, so we can calculate the area in that irregular map also. Okay, and to enlarge or reduce the size of a given map, just like what I have said now. So we can reduce or enlarge, that means we can increase the size of the map by the minor instruments using. Okay, and to carry out reconnaissance and preliminary surveys quickly. So reconnaissance and preliminary surveys are used in these minor instruments. With the help of minor instrument, we can carry out this reconnaissance and preliminary survey. Reconnaissance and preliminary surveys which are used for the in the cities, towns, in the forest areas. Okay, and when it is difficult to carry a handle heavy equipment, so when it is difficult to carry, it will have handle heavy equipment. Okay, so that is nothing but the heavy equipment which is there, so we cannot carry difficult. Okay, so minor instruments used in surveying are, first one is hand level, proportional compass, pantograph, planimeter, box sextant, cyclone guard tracer. So these are the minor instruments we are using in our surveying. Abney level, Indian pattern clinometer and D-Linsis clinometer, Watkins mirror clinometer and foot roll clinometer. So these are the minor instruments we are using in our surveying. So please keep it in your mind. The next one is hand level. The first instrument is known as hand level. So it is used for rough leveling. So in rough leveling we will use this hand leveling. So the rough leveling means immediate calculations, okay, taking on the ground. So this is the hand level. You can observe. So this we will be carrying in the hand. So this is the site we will see in here, and this will be our object glass. So this will be the bubble tube type. Okay, and next one is Abri level. So the Abri level is an engineering instrument which can use it to determine height. So this is there in our syllabus. Abri level is an engineering instrument which can be used to determine height. So this is the Abri level instrument. You can observe here a scale is there in a compass type. So this is a vernier scale which will be there, and you can see here one side will be the eyepiece and the other side will be the object glass. So here this is known as bubble tube. So this is the actual Abri level. The person is carrying in the hand. You can observe here this is the eyepiece portion, where we have to see the readings in this vernier scale which is matching on to the point. And next one is pantograph. So pantograph is used to enlarge or reduce the size of the map. So this is a pantograph instrument. So it will be using for the contour maps. So with this help of pantograph we can reduce or increase the size of the maps. By that we can identify clearly in the maps which are the points and areas. And next one is planimeter. A planimeter is a measuring instrument used to measure the surface area of an arbitrary two-dimensional shape. So here this planimeter is a measuring instrument. So this will be used to measure on the ground surface area of an arbitrary two-dimensional shape. That means one-dimensional, two-dimensional, three-dimensional shapes will be there. So in that we will use this planimeter. So this is the planimeter. So it will come in a box, black color box. You can observe here this is weight rod. So this is the wood screw type, and this is our scale measuring. So we can observe here with this one we can measure the planimeter. So this is called a digital planimeter, another one. So this is the weight rod. So here this is the mirror. So this is the digital LED reading. These are the buttons for the measurements calculation. So uses of planimeter are, it can find out areas of figures plotted to scale. So which the figures, that means which the areas or any diagrams which are mapped in a map, they are plotted to the scale. So we can find them areas easily. And finding areas of irregular boundaries. So if any irregular boundaries are there like this, so we can calculate the area by the setter method. And it gives results for far more accurate 99% compared to graphical methods. So it will give the 100%, 1% remaining, that is nothing but it will be rare, but 99% it will give the accurate results for compared to the graphical methods. So finally summary, today we have seen minor instruments are light handy instruments used to do surveying works quickly, and used to measure angles of slope, and used to enlarge or to reduce the size of the map, and used to calculate area of irregular plotted map. So his uses of minor instruments are measure angles, enlarge or reduce maps to measure areas of irregular. Answer is D, all the above. What are the minor instruments used in surveying? All the above. Answer is D. So frequently asked questions are, define minor instruments, and what are the uses of minor instruments in surveying. So these are the questions. So now we are going to see the next topic regarding Abri level, that is also called clinometer. So wait for the 1 minute. So let us see now, the topic is Abri level. So we are continuing the class. So now, upon completion of this period, you will be able to know, so what is an ABNI level and component parts of ABNI level, constructional features of ABNI level, working principles of ABNI level, and measurement of vertical angles using ABNI level. So these are the topics we are going to learn in this class. So once we have seen that is nothing but introduction to minor instruments, uses of minor instruments, various minor instruments used in survey. We have seen just before these the topics, and here introduction to ABNI level. So ABNI level is the most commonly used type of clinometer. So this is also called a clinometer. Okay, there is no need to confuse. ABNI level is the most commonly used type of clinometer, and it is very light, compacted and handy instrument of low precision. So you have to remember, it is very light, compacted and handy instrument of low precision. Low precision means cost will be high but the maintenance is very delicate. That is called low precision, and it is very convenient for the completion of work quickly. So with this ABNI level, we can do the work very easily because it is very lightweight. We can handle with our hand, and it may also be used as a hand level by setting the vernier to 0 of this circle. So just now I have said, so it may also be used as a hand level. So ABNI level is also called hand level. We can setting the vernier 0 of the circle on the hand itself. So this is the ABNI level, and ABNI level is an engineering instrument which can be used to determine height. So generally the specification here of ABNI level is, it will be determining the height. So this is our instrument. We can catch in our hand also. So here this ABNI level. So next see the component parts of ABNI level. Square sighting tube, eyepiece, bubble tube, graduated semicircular arc, vernier arm, magnifying glass, milled headed screw. So these are the component parts of ABNI level. So let us see where these parts are there. So this is ABNI level, actual instrument which is there. You can observe here. The first one is sighting tube, this one, and the next one is bubble tube. So here on the top of the instrument it will be there. So with this we will sight. Okay. So from here we will see. First we will call that sighting tube, and this is graduated arc. So graduated arc means readings, the measurements which we will take from here, and vernier arm. So that is nothing but vernier scale. Magnifying glass. So magnifying glass is nothing but to see the readings very clearly. Just like in the microscope we will have the glass to see the whatever the small readings also we can see with the microscope. So like that here in ABNI level this magnifying glass will be useful. And milled headed screw. So this is the tightening of this magnifying, vernier arm and graduated arm. So for this scale this is the milled headed screw. Okay, and this is open window. So here a gap will be there, from this we will call that open window. So these are the component parts, very important, and this is called eyepiece as I have told now. So this is rear view of ABNI level, that means very nearer we are seeing this one. Bubble tube, you can observe the bubble tube. So this is our bubble tube, and this is the open window. What I have said now, this is open window. You can observe here now. This is graduated arc, very clearly it is showing now. You can see the readings. vernier arm, the above readings which will be coinciding to this reading, then we have to take the measurements. So this is magnifying glass, so mirror headed screw, and this is crossways. You can see, observe here at the bottom of the box above level we are having crossways. So above level line diagram. This is the line diagram of above level. You can observe here bubble tube, mirror headed screw, graduated arc, open window, angles, eyepiece, sighting tube. This is called sighting tube, and these are the slopes. So vernier arm and magnifying glass, mirror, magnifying glass. We are having two magnifying glasses. One will be in the objective glass and one will be in the seeing further readings. So this line diagram is very important. You have to draw in your notebook also. In examination also he will ask this line diagram of above level. Very important question. So constructional features of an above level. So square sighting tube. This is square sighting tube is fitted with eyepiece at one end and a pair of crossheads. So this square sighting tube is used for the sight of the object. That means any height of the object which is there, that point we can see. So that is, it is fitted with the eyepiece, and at one end a pair of crosses will be there. Generally like this will be there. Wherever you see the instrument, the crosses will be one horizontal, one vertical. If possible, more any other, it will be there. Okay. Next one is bubble tube. So this bubble tube we are seeing from our dumpy level, auto level instruments. So in above level also this bubble tube is very prominent, important. It is attached to the vernier arm, which can be rotated either by means of a milled head screw or by rack and pinion arrangement at the other end. So this is bubble tube is also, it is attached to the vernier arm. Okay. So which can be rotated either by means of a milled screw. So when we rotate the milled headed screw or by a rack and pinion arrangement at the other end. So this bubble tube will be moving on. So with the, when we move the milled headed screw. Graduated semicircular arc. So this graduated semicircular is also, graduations on the arc increases from 0 to 90 degrees. So we have to keep it in the mind. Graduations in the arc, they are increases from 0 to 90 degrees in both directions, one giving the angles of elevation and the other angles of depression. So that means in graduated semicircular we can observe that arc increases from 0 to 90 degrees in both the directions we can see, and here one giving the angles of elevation, that means to the height, and the other angles which will be giving, we can measure depth also, that is also called depression. And vernier arm. So this vernier arm is provided with a magnifying glass and a vernier scale is marked on it. The least count of vernier scale is 10 seconds. So this is nothing but in vernier arm. It is also, we can be seeing with the magnifying glass and the readings will be noted, but the least count is 10 seconds. Magnifying glass. So this magnifying glass is very important. It is used to read the vernier coincidence. That means in vernier scale is like this. You can see the readings. So another scale will be there. Okay. So this is main scale. So if any reading coincides with the in this reading, so then that is called vernier coincidence. And milled headed screw. So this milled headed screw is the to rotate the bubble tube, or we can rotate the readings also. So on rotation of milled headed screw, the vernier arm moves on the graduated arm. So that means when we are rotating the milled headed screw, the vernier arm will be moving and it will be settled or coincides to the graduated arm. So then next is working principle of Abney level. So up to now we have seen the component parts of Abney level and construction features of Abney level. So this Abney level is used to measure the heights. So we can carry it very easily in our hands, but very delicate to maintain. The line of sight is defined as the line joining the peep hole, the crosswire and its continuation. So here in Abney level also we have the line of sight. So this line of sight is also called our horizontal center of the axis. So here it is defined as the line joining the peep hole. Okay, the peep hole is nothing but from the eyepiece to the object glass, that is called peep hole. The crosswire and its continuation. Okay, so the line of sight is said to be inclined when the object is either in depression or in elevation. So that means the line of sight is which will be sometimes inclined or when the object is either in depression or in elevation. Okay, so if we want to measure here, so we want to measure here height. So with our handy level instrument we can measure the depression also. Okay, and if we want to measure our handy level this height, we can measure with the handy level height also. So that is known as depression or in elevation. So for any inclination of line of sight, the bubble should be in its central run and the position of vernier will give the angle. So here in the line of sight, the inclination of the line of sight will be the bubble will be in the central run, so that the position of vernier will give the angle. So here uses of Abney level. So Abney level is used for measuring vertical angles, measuring slope of the ground, tracing grade contours, taking cross sections. So that means you can see here before in our surveying level instruments with the help of Dumpy level, auto level, we have seen the measurements, we have seen the measure the distances and ground levels we have calculated with the help of auto levels. Okay, the leveling instruments. But here in these uses of Abney level, these are all advanced instruments. We can measure the vertical angles very easily. So the vertical angles means how it will be there. Suppose if any height of the object is there, so this on the bottom of any place is there. Okay, so if we are here on a ground level, so we are catching the Abney level instrument here. Okay, so from this we can see the vertical angle. So vertical angle means that is inclined angle. Okay, in this way we can measure the height of the object also. Okay, so the height will be up to here also. Okay, so this is the vertical angles and slope of the ground also. So just like now we can measure the slope of the ground. So is the inclined position. So we can see here this is our ground. Okay, so on this position the instrument, if it is here, okay, so we can measure this slope of the ground by this upper level also. We can calculate how much the slope it is, how much ratio it is in the gradient, and tracing grade contours. So the contour maps which are there, so irregular lines will be there, okay, so some different contour lines will be there. So we can be identifying at which level it is there, okay. So we can trace out the levels which are used in the contour maps, and taking the cross sections, the cross sections which are in the contour maps, just like for the roads or any, okay, for railways or any in the waterways which are there, we will be taking the cross sections, okay. So these cross sections will be as it is like this in our contour levels, okay. So first of all, measurement of vertical angles. So you can observe here the person is seeing with the upper level instrument. Like this we have to see with the instrument. We have to close one eye and we have to open another eye, and this is our eyepiece, okay. This is the eyepiece, and this here will be the object glass, and here you know the bubble tube, okay. So she is seeing the angle which is there exciting the object, okay. So we can measure the angle, or which is the point we can measure from it. So this is the upper level. So it keeps upper level in the left hand at eye level. So we have to catch with the both hands, left and right hand. We have to see with our right or left eye, depending upon our convenience, okay. Direct upper level to the object till the line of sight passes through it. So we have to directly sight the object whether the line of sight is coinciding or not. Up to that we have to see that object very clearly. So we should not move anywhere. So at the place itself we have to sight the object and we have to take the measurements. As the line of sight is inclined, the bubble is visible in the mirror, it will go out of center. So if it is, remember, a line of sight is, if it is inclined, the bubble tube which is there is visible in the mirror. We can see in the mirror whether the bubble tube is in the center or not. When the line sight is inclined, it will be go out of the center. But if the line of sight, it is in which position? The vertical angle, okay, horizontal position, if it is there, the center of the axis, which is there coming to the vernier coincidence. So if it is in the horizontal position, it will be the center. So bring the bubble to the center of its run by rotating milled headed screw or rack and pinion arrangement with right hand. So we have to, one hand we have to catch the instrument, and on the other hand we have to operate the filled head screw by rotating with our hands, so that the bubble tube will be coming inside. How we are rotating our foot screws in the dumpy level or in the outer level? So same like that, but here only we are having only one milled headed screw. So with that one milled headed screw, we have to rotate our instrument. So at the right side it will have, okay. So this is milled headed screw. We have to catch with our left hand, and one hand should be on the milled headed screw, so that only the bubble tube will be in the center position. Otherwise, if you are sighting the object also, bubble tube going from center away from center, the measurements will be wrong. And note that the bubble is in its central run, the line of sight should pass through the object. So we have to think here, some main concept is, so the bubble tube, when it is in the central run, the line of sight should pass through the object. The line of sight is nothing but the center of the axis of crosshairs they should be passed from the object glass and they should be bisected to the object. That means whatever we are seeing the hill or any object or any pole or any building, and read the vertical angle on the graduated arc with the coincidence of the vernier arm. So whatever the coincidence angle is marking or facing on the vernier arm, that we have to take it as a vertical angle. So we can see here in the diagram. So a person is there. So a person is there catching with Agni level. So you can see here he is seeing the object to the a ranging rod. It was kept on the height of the slope. So we can determine here H and SD. SD is called slope distance. Okay, we can see here, and V is called vertical distance. H is called horizontal distance. So this is our ranging rod. We know, everyone know the ranging rod will be the up to 3 meters height. You can observe here to find out the H, that is nothing but from the observer to the object, that is called H, the distance. Okay, this also we will find out by the angle, and the slope distance is also we will be find out. So by the formulas you can see here. So the angle first we are seeing, that we got it as alpha is equal to 18 degrees. So that one is nothing but this is 18 degrees. Okay, name it as this is 18 degrees. So here to determine, that is V, here V is equal to delta H. That means V is the vertical distance we have to find. So V is equal to delta H means, so you can take the delta how much, that is in the angle you can take, that is from the delta in the calculator you will get the value. Okay, and the H, what is the H we have to find out. So that only we have to find out. So here H is equal to, okay, delta V. Then we will get the 10.043 H. Okay. So now find out the H. So H is equal to SD into cos alpha. So before find out the H, we have to find out the SD. Okay. So you can see here in the bottom it was mentioned V is equal to H into tan alpha. So H is 30.909 we have to find out, that is from the slope distance we will get. So if the slope distance was given, okay, 32.5 into cos alpha 18 degrees, we will get 30.909 meters. Then to get the vertical height, that is H into tan alpha, we have got the H value 30.909 into tan 18 degrees. Then we will get the vertical height is 10.043 H. So we have to find out like this the height of the measurement of vertical angles. But the person should be able to catch the Agni level in a correct manner. So irregular or moving Agni level, if any proper irregular directions, it will not give the accurate measurements. So the uses of vertical angles to measure the height of tree. We can measure the height of tree also. You can observe here, this is horizontal axis through instrument, vertical axis through tree. Okay, vertical axis through tree. You can see here this is our ground level. So from here the instrument catching is called observer. So the other observer seeing to this direction at the top of the tree, we got the angle as 30 degrees. Okay. Then we have to find out the distance from the observer to the tree and we have to find out the h. Okay, so if already h1 was given, so h1 will be given, that is from the observer standing on the position to the bottom of the tree. Okay, that is nothing but horizontal axis to the instrument, just like we will call height of instrument. Okay, so just like height of instrument we can see here, and then next we will find out the h2. This is h1 plus h2 is equal to total height h. So to measure the height of tree, and okay, that is the formula. And here to measure the height of towers, so we will be using especially for the towers only. We cannot go at the height of the tower and bottom we cannot measure, so we can measure with this instrument only. So this is the our observable instrument. S is the slope, okay, standard, and if you are getting the theta angle, then we will be measuring this distance, okay, and this will be the top of the tower. Okay, so the next, in these cases, not only for the towers, for electrical poles or buildings, we can measure at the building also. So if this is a building, so the person or instrument is there at the bottom, so if the above level is there, so we can take the top of the angle also. So then it will be the area there, okay, 20 degrees. So then we have to find out here distance and heights also. So it will be useful for the measuring of heights of buildings, okay, heights of chimneys, okay. So whatever the slope distance is there, it is necessary to take, compulsory. So we have to remember the formulas. H is equal to SD into cos alpha and V is equal to H into tan alpha. Okay, so in these cases these are very important, but here in the bubble tube we have to check the conditions compulsory. So the bubble tube should be in the central position only. If the bubble tube moves from irregular or away from the center, we have to set it and we have to dissect the object. So this is the bubble tube condition. So in this way we have to catch the above level. This is the requirement of above level, compulsory. Okay, and moreover this above level is very frequently used instrument in our surveying in all the places. So here whatever the readings we are seeing, so they should be basic with this one. Okay, you can see here this is our vernier arm scale and this is the magnifying glass and this is graduate arc. So suppose if you see here in this reading, this is the 40 is coincide with the here above the reading. You can see here this is 40 degrees, okay, and it is measured 10 seconds. Okay, so you can see here from 2, 3 it is measured at 30 seconds. Okay, so just like we have to coincide the angle, whichever the angle is coinciding here in this vernier arm, so that we have to take the measurement. So these will be rotating in the clockwise and in the anti-clockwise. So depending upon this screw only, here the bubble tube will be moving on. Okay, so we don't have here any 3-4 screws. We have only the, this is health screw, helping screw, we will call it as health button screw. Okay, milled headed screw. So we have to keep it as a milled headed screw. So this diagram is important. So remember each and every component parts: graduated semicircular arc, vernier arm, magnifying glass, milled headed screw, okay, crosshair. So it is useful for vertical angles, slope of the ground, tracing grade contours, taking cross sections, okay, In this way we have to see the ABNI level using the measurements. So this is very usually commonly used in the practical things also, for tree, for building, for tower. So finally summary, we have discussed today what is ABNI level, component parts of ABNI level, constructional features, working principles of ABNI level, measurement of vertical angles. So let us see some objective questions. ABNI level is used for all the above: measuring vertical angle, slope of the ground, measuring the height. Answer is B. And the surveying minor instrument which is used for measuring vertical angles is, which will be using, that is ABNI level is used for the vertical angles. Which one of the following is the component part of ABNI level? All the above: eyepiece, bubble tube, sighting tube. The surveying minor instrument which is used for measuring vertical angles is A, ABNI level. So frequently asked questions for your examination are: list the component parts of minor instrument, that is ABNI level, and explain about ABNI level with a neat sketch and where it is used. And write a short note on working principles of ABNI level. So these questions you write a notes, very important, and explain the method of measuring vertical angle at a station by using ABNI level. So thank you. This is our introduction to the minor instruments and regarding ABNI level. So have a nice day.